Oh my God. I'm 52 years old and I just uprooted and moved across the country 3.5 weeks ago. I was living in the PNW the last 24 years and returned back, quote unquote, home to the Midwest. And I'm going to tell you something. I have a lot of things that I want to share about this journey, but the number one thing that I am starting to realize, and now I've heard about this before, but now I'm like realizing it and I'm feeling it in my body, is this. Okay. Like change is, number one, change is good. Like change is really, really good. Like this move was very sudden, although we thought about and have been contemplating coming back to the Midwest for a few years on and off, okay? But this move was sudden in the fact of we had a rental we were staying at, me and my mom, and we're going to buy it. Didn't work out. Then they found a buyer. We had to move within a month, get a new rental. Okay. That still was a little bit more than we wanted to pay for a rental back in the BNW. And we were living at that time in this Olympic Peninsula area. So in this small town. And, I had a bad feeling about that rental, but I was like, what are we going to do? Is the quickest thing I could find. It was somewhat decent for the price. Turns out it was mold infested. Landlords wouldn't fix it. I was back and forth with them. It was bad, bad, bad. And the landlords were like, we want you to go, pretty much, because I was pushing them to fix the mold and to give us our money back. And eventually then they said, you got to go, right? And we knew we had to go. So anyways, the point is, it was like we couldn't find a rental for under $2,600. $2,600 at the time, right? And we had to like get out within like a couple weeks. It was intense. Turns out, found something, Wisconsin. Could it work out? And somehow, bada bing, bada boom, it did. I don't even know. I don't even know how it did, but it really did. It was one of those things. So then I knew Spirit is guiding this. And this is the thing. It's like the rent itself is going to be like 1,000. It is $1,000. We're here now. We already paid rent. $1,000 less a month. So I know financially, for the present and for the future, that was like the best move possible. But it happened like that. It happened like quick. And we were like, it's now or never. Let's get back to the Midwest, because at least we could buy a house. You know what I'm saying? And I think because I'm 52, I think if I was 32 or even maybe 42, I'd have been like, no, let's go. Between work and my side hustles, I got everything. I'll put it all together. But I think it was like, man, I need to be able to have a little bit more of a cushion. I don't want to have to spend so much on my living costs, right? Because you got your rent and then you also have all your utilities, right? A lot. So it was like, boom, it just came together. It came together and we're here. We drove across the country, had COVID, been in bed for like 2.5 weeks, more than 2.5 weeks. This is like the third week. It's towards the end of the third week. And this is the first day that I've been like up fully dressed and with makeup on. So I'm almost going on full 3 weeks of being sick from COVID. Okay. So as I'm starting to come into my body and I'm like, what the hell just happened? Like, where am I? I still feel kind of like, I know I'm in the Midwest. I know but there's a part of me, because it happened so quick and it was like a lot of like really hard stuff. It was almost like the PNW like spit us out, and I didn't have time to like grieve and feel the emotions, because part of it I was feeling kind of mad at myself, like maybe what could I have done differently. And I was just looking through my financial choices and different things, but then I realized, no, wait a minute, we took the power into our old hands and said we have to go somewhere where it's a lot more reasonable to live, so we can have more of a cushion, so we could invest, so we could have a home, etc., etc., right? So one thing I've noticed is I think that it was exhilarating and it was exciting to be able to be like, okay, we're going to go to the Midwest. Everything worked out. We got a car. We traded our car in. We got a new car. I mean, it all worked out, right? And so I was like really excited and I could feel like spirit guiding us. But now that I'm here and now that I got over COVID, now I'm just like, I'm excited, but still I'm kind of like, where did we go? What did we do? Did I do the right thing? Like $9,000 later, did I do the right thing? And though in my heart and even in my mind, I know, like if I were even to sit with Susie Orman right now, she would be like, you did the best thing because you were thinking about your future self and your present, right? Because when you're struggling to like make ends meet and pay all these different bills and you're doing your hustles, it's hard to connect to your creativity and imagination. I feel like when I was younger, I was able to do it. And I actually, like when my ass was against, like up to the fire, I was able to be like, okay, wow, I gotta put all this together. And I was able to tap into it. But I feel like there's something as I've gotten older that I don't have that same energy, that I need to have some more stability and I can't have my ass to the fire as much. And so being here, paying $1,000 less a month for rent, and it's a safe, beautiful place where we live. It's like 1,400 square feet. It's beautiful. It's well taken care of. It's a cute neighborhood. And this where we live now, if we're in the PNW, it would be near like $4,000 a month. Easily, because a two-bed apartment in the Seattle area, north part of the Seattle area, was going for like $2,600. So it's 900 square feet, 920. And then some of the houses were going for like 3,100, 3,200. And I know for like, if you're over in California, that's like considered decent price or whatever. But I was like, I don't want to pay that. I don't want to be spending so much money in my living, like, and to pay rent. Or if I'm going to pay 3,100 or 3,200, I want it to be in my own mortgage or something. I don't want to pay rent for that. And maybe if I was a millionaire, but I'm not a millionaire as of yet, right? As of yet, I am not. And so, here we are. And one of the things that I've learned is that there's so much, even if something's like really for the betterment of your future and good for you, there's still like doubt, there's still sorrow, and there's still different things that you dance with. And I think I expected that all of a sudden it was going to change, and then I was going to be like, everything's all of a sudden better. And it's like, I thought maybe I would have a magic wand and make everything better. Now, a lot is better because, like I was just talking about my finances, like it was just amazing. Like we got our security deposit back from that moldy rental, and I was able to pay the rent, and we have quite a bit left over, and it's amazing. It feels so good. And so that's better. But I'm saying, like, some of the things, just other things, you just expect everything to change, and it doesn't, because you're still the same person. And I think I've expected to feel somewhat different. I mean, I do, but I'm still me, and you still carry the stuff you're working on, even when you change your location. It doesn't all of a sudden make it all of a sudden better. I mean, it does in some ways, but so it's interesting. It's very, very interesting. And if someone were to ask me, okay, if you could rewind it and do it all over again, I would still say yes. I would still say yes. Even if I have some doubts, even if I'm missing the PNW, I would still say yes. Because here's the thing, is you can always go back. You can always go back, even though there's no going back to the way once things were. But, maybe in a couple years, right? I become that millionaire. Not maybe, right? A gazillionaire. Now, I don't say a millionaire. And I go back, but even the PNW millionaire, unless you're like millionaire generation wealth, because houses are like 600, 700,000. You don't even get that much, right? But anyway, it's like, what, to each his own. But for the meantime, I'm going to be open to what's here. And I am going to just remind myself that this is a move that we made for our present and our future selves. So make the move, but also too, don't like put so much expectations on the actual move, right? Sometimes we put so much expectations and we build it all up, and then it happens because we've created this fantasy of how it should go. So I'm telling you that to remind myself of that, right? Like, it is what it is. Be present to the moment. And I will keep you up to date. I'm starting a job. I haven't had like a regular 9 to 5 job in quite a while, like over 5 years, because I've been freelancing. I'm very happy to have a job. I think in this market, and especially at my age, I know a lot of people in their 50s are having like hard time. They apply for so many different jobs, so I'm very happy for that, and I'm excited to bring in regular income. And I'm excited to then be able to really dedicate time for my freelance work and not hoping, but putting the intention out that in 1 year from now, I will be back to freelancing on the regular. So it'll be interesting. I'm going into this 9 to 5 thing like, okay, like, let's see, what do I have to learn? What do I have to give? How do I have to be? So that's what I got for you. I thank you for listening to my story, and I'll be back with more insights from this 52-year-old that just uprooted and changed her whole life. Peace, deuces.